the chat room. Most welcome to write to me and say hello. And as well, if you have any questions about the euro, Bitcoin, gold, crude oil, the DAX, or any other sort of related question to these markets. Uh, what we're going to do now is we're going to provide you guys with some live technical analysis and see what's going on with the markets. But before we start though, as always, I need to stress that trading financial markets unfortunately is risky and there's a genuine risk that we'll lose all of our invested money. So it's really important that you understand that. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to begin with the euro. So the euro is drifting to the downside and the market has tried to bottom out about 122.36, which is a low here from March 20th, but the euro is not showing too much respect for it. And it is many times like this when we're trading something that is range bound like this. Sometimes, working with lows like these work out fine, sometimes they don't. And the way it looks right now, it could be one of those occasions where it doesn't work out. And is one of the primary reasons why I haven't been trading the euro for quite some time. Uh, that is one of the reasons why I have not traded the euro for quite some time until we started to trade sideways in this range. Now, at one point though, I think it will be a nice sort of interesting market where the market might potentially trade below 120, 155, could take price down to maybe, I don't know, 119.23. The alternative is that if we take out 125.22, then the market could potentially, rally to 128.82. But we need to break either the upside or the downside for that to really matter. In the short term, the market is range bound, and it is possible to buy where we are, stop loss here or stop loss here. But again, this little low here is very, very fragile. If we take it out, I think we can have a little bit of a push to the downside, and then the market might try to take out 120, 155. I'm not really sure though. I don't really actually think that we will take out this level just yet. I think this level is probably going to hold and is probably only on, say, a very good note from payrolls this Friday with strong headline figures and strong wage growth. The market is going to be happy to sell here for this to decline. Um, if this trades up here or here by Friday next week, so in 8 days from now, when it's price middle. Overall, the trend is bullish, but again, it's just not respecting the short-term levels, which just makes it very difficult to trade. Here's something that should hopefully work out better, and it's the pound versus the USD. So the market here is in a short-term uptrend. Overall, as well, is in a bullish uptrend. Of course, if you look at it from the end of January, we're not in necessarily a very strong trend, but we're definitely in some sort of trend. And I'm focusing on the 138.86 level. I'm bullish above this level, and my idea when we're trading up here is that the market is probably going to look to bottom out here. So now we are in that buy zone, and I suspect the market is going to try to bottom out. Of course, no one really knows exactly how things is going to work out in the short term. So the market could easily go to the downside, but as long as trade above 138.86, then there's no real reason here to do anything about this. Rather, just want to be bullish above this level, targeting the high and then the 143.44 level. And let me actually go back. We are supposed to watch Bitcoin. So this is Bitcoin. Sorry about that. I started to follow a different list today. This is Bitcoin. In Bitcoin, very, very fragile. The market moved to the upside and it reversed from the first Fibonacci level. I took a simple fib from the trend defining level, which is the last swing high from March 21st, pulled it all the way down to the low, which is 64.12, and that gives us these three fib levels. Now, usually this market manages to correct more, especially when you start to reach like a major low like this one. More markets, more traders going to be keen on buying for this market to hit higher. However, though, the market just went up to the first fib and then reversed, which I was quite surprised about. Now, going forward, there's not too much to do here. I think if you're interested to trade the downtrend, then I think the traders that are willing to do that, they're probably going to wait for a correction for now, the market is like short-term bullish to some extent. I would definitely not buy though, but short-term bullish, and I think this market could drift slightly higher, maybe to 78.36, maybe 8,200. Uh, and then from these levels, I think traders are going to look to sell. Why? Because up here, you risk 17.79%, and if it goes down, you make 24, and if it just hits the prior low, you make 18. So at least you get your money back here, or you risk, whereas shorting here doesn't really give you that sort of reward. As well, you can see here this correction up here did reach 59 on the RSI, but we didn't necessarily hit really overbought levels. So I don't actually trust this correction. Again, I think it can swing to the upside, but as I've been saying, since we traded lower here, I want to be bearish. The alternative scenario is that this market just trades sideways here, and then eventually takes out its low here and this low here. That could again be a bearish setup, and probably gonna head to maybe 4,936, followed by 4,439 and 4,123. So that really opens up for further declines. At the same time, if we say spend a week or so here uh, and then break to the upside, then at that point it goes up, down, up, down. So you have at least like a double top. If we break that double top, then yes, I'm gonna be interested to be bullish. As an example, if we just ignore this piece, you see when up, down, and up. If we see that sort of reaction, so we're here right now. So if the market goes up and then down and then tries to go up again, then that could potentially be the beginning of something interesting. But we're not there yet. We need a few more days, if not a week or two, for that to happen. So for now, I want to maintain a bearish bias. It's been very successful over this period here. In fact, we've been bearish when we started to break these levels here as well. So it's nothing new to be bearish this market. I think traders are going to sell up here. The alternative, you trade sideways and then take out the lows. Here's the price of crude oil. Very straightforward. Sorry. I'm focused on the big levels. Got the $60 per barrel. You got the 58.28 level. And, simple fib from the low to the high gives me this, the third fib. The market could go to the downside, as I said a few days ago, which it did yesterday already, and then bounce. It bounced nicely. We're up a little bit here. And sorry about that. And the market could easily move back down to the levels. But, we touched oversold levels yesterday in the buy zone. Might come back down again. It's going to be oversold. And in regards to the big picture trend, there's no real reason to be bearish down here. If we buy here at the lows, if we didn't do that already, the risk is 4.5%. If we go up to the high, potentially make 6.1%. Here's the price of gold. Looks a bit like the euro. The market doesn't really care about the short-term levels. We already know that the market moved down below this level, and then like a few days later, it just bounced and still moved to the upside. Here, I will focus on 1,302 and 1,361. If you're keen on buying ranges, then buying down here. Oh, we said the same thing down here. You can buy here for this to go up. Maybe we'll be able to do that a second time here as we approach this low. Here is the DAX 30. So the DAX 30 managed to, we said last week, look to sell here. The market moved back down to the lows. Didn't break the low, but back to the lows. And this would have been a good opportunity to book profits if you're a scalper. If you're a longer term trader, then you probably would have kept this, hoping for a break to the downside. But over the last 24 hours, the markets have changed their bias. So the market declined and then quickly moved to the upside. And it's not just here in the German DAX, it's also in the S&P, in the Nasdaq, in many of these different markets. We're starting to see the markets look to turn bullish. As well, we have the dollar yen, to give an idea, starting to challenging its short-term downtrend. So we're starting to see a change in the sentiment here. And it's obviously coming after a few days of bombardment on, say, CNBC, Bloomberg, and people on Twitter. Like everybody is right now an expert on trade wars. Everybody knows that the stock markets are down. I mean, I started to see banners and advertising that plays on this fear. And usually, when an idea has been assimilated by a majority of people, that tends to be sort of the stagnation point. In this case, potentially the beginning of a low in the market. Technically, though, what we need to do is you need to stick to the technical levels, wait until they break, and from that, potentially take action if you would like to. But it's sort of a typical pattern where everybody now starts to realize that things are not going too good, and then we're starting to see the market still though bottoming out literally 24 hours later. If you want to know more about my case on what I'm interested in sort of what I'm looking at, more technical analysis, then click here on technical analysis and you're going to find a few updates here. We got dollar CAD, you got New Zealand dollar versus the USD, and got a bunch of different things. The Dow, I talked about the Dow potentially bottoming out already on the 3rd of April. Got Litecoin, bunch of different things here. You have EUR as well posting, so check it out here if you like this show, because in here we have more of the same. We do break it down sometimes into short term, long term, and then the video reports, which are these ones, but we don't actually post too much per day, so I think it's best just click on technical news up here. Okay, good. Good morning, Pamela. Thank you so much for joining us. And thanks everybody else that is watching this live right now here on YouTube. We're gonna wrap things up because this is a short presentation, just lasting about 10 minutes. I'm gonna be back here on the same channel tomorrow and on the same page here at tradecaptain.com. If you haven't signed up already, we do have a special webinar coming up where I'm going to discuss some very good trade ideas that I have identified that I think could become relevant in the next few weeks. We're going to talk commodities, currencies, and I'm also going to see if we can find something interesting in the crypto space, even though right now the only thing interesting in the crypto space is actually to sell. So we don't actually have any buy setups in the crypto space right now, but who knows, we might potentially identify. So we're going to do that. We're also going to talk about some of the trades I've been conducting or trading this year and how I identify those trades, which are, trades on S&P 500, NASDAQ as well, and a few other things like the Euro Swedish kroner, sorry, and the pound Swedish kroner, so which are some good setups, and as well some cryptos, which I traded in the beginning of the year. Okay, guys, have a good day and join me here tomorrow. Thanks.